First off, thank everybody for taking your time and coming here to celebrate my mom's life. For those who don't know me, my name is Brad Dushop, and I'm a proud mother of Mom. My mom, as Brother Greg has said, she was a mother, she's a daughter, she's a wife, she's a sister, she was a grandmother, she was a great-grandmother. But don't tell her, I don't think she knows. She was pretty vain, so being a great-grandmother might have been a little shocking. She was an executive secretary, she was a dancer, not just any dancer, but a ballerina with some jazz dance exercise sprinkled in. And for a while, her favorite sideshow was Tahitian dancing. Not the same as Hawaiian dancing that she mastered and she showed me the difference. She said, Brad, Hawaiian dancing is all with telling the story with the hands. And the Tahitian dancing, well, you tell that with your hips, you know. And man, could my mom tell a story. Even though it might have been, you know, made me a little uncomfortable at a young age of 10. Even at 10, I knew my mom was hot. She had great hands, long fingers. She could have been a concert piano player if she wanted to. My mom, she could just do about anything she put her mind to. One time she wanted a stereo, but I think my dad said it was too expensive or something was going on there, so she built her own. There was a picture that I took with one of those flash bulb cameras in the 60s, you know, and the bulb goes, and it flies out of the camera because it's hot, right? She was working on this on the kitchen table, and she was leaning over the stereo, and she was building, and she was soldering, you know, and she's leaning like this, and she's got her nose in the circuit board, and it's like 10:30 at night, and she's really concentrating, so I come in, I'm like about 12 years old, and I take this picture, and the picture puffs up, her cheeks are all puffed up, her eyes about ready came out, because she thought that the circuit board had shorted out. Van, do we know where that picture is? My brother, Van.
We've seen it.
We've seen it. It's around somewhere.
It's the brother-in-law.
When it came to the arts, she was very supportive. Now that we had Mom's homemade stereo, I would fake being sick and stay home from school. And I'd crank that bad boy up, and I'd use my sister's metal knitting sticks, which she just found out about that today, on my mom's pots and pans. And I had my makeshift drum kit, keeping time with the Beach Boys blasted on Mom's homemade stereo. So when she figures it all out, what do you think she does? Does she scold me for staying home and being sick? No, she encourages me. She buys me a snare drum for my birthday. And I launch off into a long career in music that I've never regretted. One time my band is playing in the garage at home and cops show up. So my mom goes out there and meets the cops, and they say, hey, you gotta turn it down, you gotta turn it off, you gotta cut it off. She says, okay, but let them play one more song. You gotta hear them play Satisfaction by the Stones. And by God, guess what? They let us play Satisfaction. That was my mom. When it came to political and religious discussions or support, she was my guru. That doesn't mean we always agreed, but we could talk. Man, could we talk. We talked about everything under the sun. As I was writing this, I think back, and she was always kept silent about certain things that might have been touchy or uncomfortable. As my brother Greg had alluded, she had a certain very private side to her. So even though she would be assertive and talk, there was always that one little place that, you know, you're not going to get that. You know, she had a private side to her. She was a fighter. She'd fight for good causes. When it came down to, like my brother Greg says, to animal rights, well, you just better get out of the way if you didn't like or respect animals. She might not tell you, like I told earlier, she wouldn't confide in you. It wasn't her style. But you just might find yourself in court or have some activist group stomping in front of your office or your house. She didn't waste words. She communicated with action. She was relentless in her passion for animals and situations when a person was being taken advantage by others with power and money. She was strict but kind. But when it came to sarcasm and humor, she was the best. I remember a time when I was 12, and we were arguing about something, and she walked away. While she had her back turned, I gave her the finger. You can guess which one I gave her. But she was quick enough that she turned to catch my animated gesture. She immediately dragged me into the nearby bathroom and stuffed the bar of soap down my mouth. That's when I found out how strong my mom really was from all that exercising and dancing. After blowing bubbles for about a month or so, I asked her, "Okay, Mom, why soap in the mouth?" Because in my child logic mind, I had used my finger, not my mouth. Her reply was, "Brad, sometimes in life you have to improvise. Besides, I'm your mother. What would people think if I broke your finger?" Her sarcasm here, it was always the best. And I'm grateful because I think that's where I get it from. If I have any 1/10 of what my mother has, I'm a blessed man. In the later years after she had been diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's, we spent most of our time going out to lunch together. I would come over and pick her up and take her out, and Dee, the caregiver, and Jenny, who are back here. Thank you guys for being here. And they lived with her basically for the last year of her life. And like Brother Van says, thank you for being there for her mom. And we couldn't do it 24/7. I traveled frequently for business, and sometimes I'd go out for 15, 30 days at a time. The disease was getting in its last stage, and I commented to Dee before I arrived in a phone conversation, "Do you think Mom will remember me?" Dee said, "We'll see." Okay. Out of the 3 children, I was the most rambunctious, the one either getting in trouble or causing it. Okay, so I get to Mom's house, and Dee opens the front door and lets me in. She goes back to Mom's bedroom to assist her in getting ready. I'm out in the kitchen, living area, when Dee comes back out laughing. I mean, Dee is pretty cool, but she never ever heard her laugh hard like this. She was really expressing herself with laughter. So I said, "Okay, what's up, Dee?" Dee goes, "Well, I told your mom that her son was here." Mom didn't get it, so Dee told her, "Brad is here." Mom said, "Ooh, trouble." Just like you, we got a good laugh out of her. Remember, it came to sarcasm and humor, she had the best, even when she could barely speak. That was my mom. We joked that I told Dee maybe it would be better if she had forgotten who I was. Well, she never forgot who I was. I never forgot who she is and never will. We knew each other and respected each other more than any other person that I've ever met. My mother, Margie Roselle King Duchak, was many things, like my brother says, to many people, as well as just a mother to me. Most of all, to me, she was my best friend. And I will always think of her as a bright star that blazed through the universe of life and left stardust, light, and love in her trail. Because that's exactly what she did. I think Brother Greg's on.
Thanks for enduring with us. There are so many qualities about our mom that we could sit here all day and share about, and you're going to hear one more. One of the things that I remember as a kid growing up was that she was a very industrious person, as Brad alluded to. She would always be doing something. And the thing that I always remember, or one of the things that always stood out about her to me, was I can remember in the morning when she would be coming down the hallway, which was carpeted, and she would be heading for the kitchen. And our bedroom was right across from the kitchen, and it was a linoleum floor. And she'd hit that floor, and it was like a shimmy, and it was a riveting sound going across that floor, because she always wore 3-inch heels. And the first place she headed for was a cabinet. And in that cabinet, she'd be pulling out bottles. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin E pills, liver, whatever, cod liver, all this kind of stuff. And then she'd go to the refrigerator and she'd pour out a glass jar that was orange and wash it down. Either with that or a glass jar that was green. It was either carrot juice or vegetable juice, which was god-awful. She was and we used to always call her a health nut. But she always took care of herself. She always wanted to do the right thing. And she maintained that health for many, many years. It's what kept her so beautiful. She was one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. I mean, I still look at the pictures of her and I go, well, what the heck happened to me? But it was always 3-inch heels. Her entire life, 3-inch heels. Nikki, at your wedding, at the ripe age of 87, what was she wearing? 3-inch heels. And I bet in that box.
You gotta talk to Jim about that.
Okay. So what I'd like to do, we would like to do right now, just looking at the clock, is if you have something that you'd like to share, it doesn't have to be long, it could be short, it could be a quick memory, and I know that might be uncomfortable, some of you, might be really compelled to do it. We want to take that time right now and allow you to just come on up, and if you have a story or something you'd like to share, I know your neighborhood folks, you gotta have some stuff
stories.
that's gone on in that neighborhood. So if you'd like to do that, come on up. It's the opportunity. Come on up. And maybe just enter.
I'll read it. One little correction, when her great grandchild was born, she wasn't 69, she was 86. Couldn't read my numbers too clearly. But one thing I remember when I first started dating Sherry 49 years ago, and I was invited to the house, and seeing Marge for the first time, it's like, wow, my girlfriend has a movie star for a month. And if you look at her now, she still looks like a movie star. And but the second thing that I noticed about Marge, that I could say that anybody that knows Marge knows her passion was her cats. And the first time I ate dinner at the table with them, here we're all sitting, and her favorite cat, Rusty, had her own place right at the table.
His.
Right, I could not believe that. And, so that's just a little story there, but I was just really blessed that even though I'm just a son-in-law, Marge has been like a mom to me. I really felt close to her these last so many years. I have done a lot of things. She's asked me to come over to fix this or fix that. And I always enjoyed doing it. And when she was telling me she was going to do something, I said, well, I could do that. Why are you going to get a plumber or an electrician or, let me give it a shot. But after I started fixing a few things, and she started calling me. Turn on the garbage boat, and everything went on, it's time to get somebody that knows what they're doing. But anyway, who else would like to share?
Thank you.